Betrayed by blood, healed I revenge, scorned legacy. If you love this story, please like and subscribe.
For 11 years, I was the glue. The one everyone called when a bill was due, the one who never said no. I'm not rich, I'm not a celebrity. I was just a woman with a steady job, a quiet apartment, and a heart that believed family was everything. Every single month, like clockwork, I sent out $2,800. Part of it went to my parents' mortgage. Another chunk covered my sister's car insurance. Then my brother's phone bill, my aunt's medical co-pays, and a small allowance for my grandmother's groceries. I didn't complain. I told myself this was love. This was what good daughters, good sisters, good nieces did. But let me take you back to the last day I felt proud of that. It was a Tuesday. Rain tapping against my office window. I was sipping cold coffee when my manager called me into a conference room. I still remember the smell of stale carpet and hand sanitizer. He didn't look me in the eye. He just slid a paper across the table. "Company restructuring," he said. "Your position is eliminated, effective immediately." My heart didn't race. It just stopped, then restarted like a broken engine. I walked out with a cardboard box of my things. No severance that would last long, no backup plan, just me, my car, and a phone full of contacts labeled Mom, Sis, Bro. That night, I sat on my couch and called each of them. Not to beg, just to tell them the truth. I thought they would worry. I thought they would say, "Are you okay? What can we do?" My mother said, "Well, figure it out soon. The mortgage is due in 2 weeks." My sister said, "Wait, so who's paying my car insurance this month?" My brother said nothing for a long time. Then, "So no more phone bill help?" And my aunt, she asked if I could still send her grocery money just until she finds a job herself. I hung up, and for the first time in 11 years, I didn't cry. I just sat in the dark and felt something inside me crack. What I didn't know that night was that the silence was only beginning. The first week of silence, I told myself they were just busy. People get busy. Life happens. By the second week, my phone had stopped buzzing entirely. No thinking of you, no how are you holding up, no can I bring you dinner, not even a text with a heart emoji. I checked my bank account, $300 left. My own rent was due in 5 days. I started skipping meals without realizing it. One meal a day became coffee and toast. Toast became just coffee. On day 18, I swallowed my pride and texted my sister, "Hey, any chance you could spot me for groceries this week? Just until I find something." She replied 6 hours later, "Sorry, I'm tight too. Have you tried a temp agency?" That was it. No offer, no "I'll ask around," just a polite door closing in my face. My brother didn't even reply. My mother called once, but only to ask if I'd figured out next month's mortgage payment yet. I told her I hadn't. She sighed like I'd personally inconvenienced her. Day 30. 30 days of silence from the people I'd carried for over a decade. I remember standing in front of my fridge, staring at an empty shelf, and whispering to myself, "Did I dream those 11 years?" Because here's the part that broke me the most. It wasn't the money. Money comes and goes. It was the quiet, the way they all just stopped seeing me. The moment I couldn't write a check, I became invisible. Not a daughter, not a sister, not a person, just a former ATM that had run out of cash. I started keeping a diary, not of my feelings, of facts. Every unanswered text, every excuse, every time I overheard from a cousin that my sister had gone on a weekend trip while I was eating ramen. Day 62. My sister posted a photo online of her new handbag, $200. My stomach turned. That same week, I donated plasma for $60. Day 74. My mother left me a voicemail. I almost cried with relief. Then I listened. She wasn't checking on me. She wanted to know if I could ask a friend for a loan so I could still help with the mortgage. She said, "We're really counting on you, sweetie." Sweetie. That word felt like a knife wrapped in velvet. Day 94. 94 days of silence about my well-being. Not one single family member asked if I was okay. Not one said, "I love you," without a request attached. That night, I didn't sleep. I opened my laptop and I started a spreadsheet. I didn't plan revenge at first. I just wanted to see the truth on paper. How much had I given? How much had they taken? How many times had I said yes while they said thanks and walked away? 11 years, $2,800 a month. That's $369,600, almost $400,000. And in 94 days of my hardship, they had given me back exactly $0 and zero emotional support. Something inside me didn't crack that night. It hardened. I didn't scream. I didn't post a rant online. I didn't show up at anyone's door. What I did was simpler and much more permanent. I finished the spreadsheet, every single payment, date, and amount. I added a second column, support received since my job loss. Every column was blank except one, my own notes to myself about their excuses, their trips, their new handbags. Then I added a third column, total balance owed if this were a loan. I set a reasonable interest rate, lower than a bank's. $369,600 plus interest came to just over $412,000. I attached a one-page letter. It said, "I loved you for 11 years without asking for anything back. Now I'm asking for one thing. Silence is free, but my peace is not. This spreadsheet is not a demand for money. It is a mirror. Look at it. Then do not contact me again unless you are ready to acknowledge what I gave and what you did not." I sent it to every single family member in one group email. Then I blocked every number. The fallout? Oh, it was loud. My mother called from a friend's phone, crying, calling me cruel. My sister left a 7-minute voicemail on an old app I forgot to block, saying I destroyed the family. My brother? He sent one text, "You've changed." Yes, I had changed. I had become someone who finally valued herself. Within a week, extended relatives took sides. Some called me heartless. A few, the ones who had always watched from the sidelines, quietly messaged me to say they understood. But here's the truth I learned. Revenge isn't about hurting back. It's about showing the truth so no one can pretend anymore. That spreadsheet wasn't a weapon, it was a receipt, and when you hand someone a receipt for their own behavior, they have two choices: apologize or disappear. Most of them disappeared, and for the first time in 11 years, I felt light. I found a new job, a smaller apartment, a quieter life, and I made a promise to myself. I will never again give from a place of hoping to be loved back. I give now only from fullness, never from emptiness. If you are out there giving and wondering why no one asks if you're okay, stop. Look at your own spreadsheet, not of money, of energy, time, tears. Because silence after sacrifice isn't forgetfulness, it's a choice. And you get to choose too.